Taylor Allison Swift, born December 13, 1989, is an American singer-songwriter. She is known for narrative songs about her personal life, which have received widespread media coverage. At age 14, she became the youngest artist signed by the Sony ATV music publishing house and, at 15, she signed with label Big Machine Records. Her 2006 eponymous debut album was the longest charting album of the 2000s in the US, and its third single, Our Song, made her the youngest person to single-handedly write and perform a #1 song on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. Swift's second album, Fearless, was released in 2008. Buoyed by the pop crossover success of the singles Love Story and You Belong With Me, it became the US best-selling album of 2009. The album won 4 Grammy Awards, and Swift became the youngest Album of the Year winner. Swift was the sole writer of her 2010 album Speak Now, which won 2 Grammy Awards and was her first to debut with over 1 million copies the US. Her fourth album, Red, 2012, yielded her first Billboard Hot 100 #1 single, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. For her fifth album and first all-pop project, 1989-2014, she won 3 Grammy Awards and became the first woman to win Album of the Year twice and the first woman in the Hot 100's history to succeed herself at #1, with the singles Shake It Off and Blank Space. Her sixth album, Reputation, 2017, made her the only act to have 4 consecutive albums sell 1 million copies in their first week in the US, while yielding her fifth Hot 100 #1 song, with Look What You Made Me Do. Her seventh album, Lover, 2019, made her only the second woman in history with 6 consecutive #1 albums on the Billboard 200. Having sold more than 50 million albums, including 32 million in the US and 150 million singles, Swift is one of the best-selling music artists of all time. As a songwriter, she has received awards from the Songwriters Hall of Fame and Nashville Songwriters Association, and was included in Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Songwriters of All Time list in 2015. She has won 10 Grammy Awards, 1 Emmy Award and 6 Guinness World Records, while being the most awarded act at the American Music Awards, 29 wins, and most awarded woman at the Billboard Music Awards, 23 wins. She has appeared in Time's list of the 100 most influential people in the world, 2010, 2015, 2019, and was ranked first in the Forbes Celebrity 100, 2016 and 2019, further being the youngest to be featured in the magazine's listing of the 100 most powerful women, 2015. In 2019, Billboard placed Swift at #8 on its list of greatest of all time artists and named her Woman of the Decade, 2010s, while the American Music Awards named her Artist of the Decade, 2010s. Life and career. 1989 to 2003, early life. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania. Her father, Scott Kingsley Swift, was a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch. Her mother, Andrea Gardner Swift, née Finley, was a homemaker who had worked as a mutual fund marketing executive. Swift, who has said she has Scottish heritage, was named after the singer-songwriter James Taylor. She has a younger brother named Austin Kingsley Swift, who is an actor. Swift spent her early years on a Christmas tree farm, which her father purchased from one of his clients. She attended preschool and kindergarten at the Alvernia Montessori School, run by the Bernadine Franciscan Sisters, before transferring to the Windcroft School. The family moved to a rented house in the suburban town of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, where she attended Wyomissing Area Junior, Senior High School. At age 9, Swift became interested in musical theater and performed in 4 Berks Youth Theater Academy productions. She also traveled regularly to New York City for vocal and acting lessons. Swift later shifted her focus toward country music inspired by Shania Twain's songs, which made her want to just run around the block 4 times and daydream about everything. She spent her weekends performing at local festivals and events. After watching a documentary about Faith Hill, Swift felt sure she needed to go to Nashville, Tennessee, to pursue a music career. She traveled with her mother at age 11 to visit Nashville record labels and submitted a demo tape of Dolly Parton and Dixie Chicks karaoke covers. She was rejected, however, because everyone in that town wanted to do what I wanted to do. So, I kept thinking to myself, I need to figure out a way to be different. When Swift was about 12 years old, computer repairman and local musician Ronnie Kramer taught her to play guitar. He helped with her first efforts as a songwriter, leading to her writing Lucky You. In 2003, Swift and her parents started working with New York-based music manager Dan Dimturo. With his help, Swift modeled for Abercrombie & Fitch as part of their Rising Stars campaign, had an original song included on a Maybelline compilation CD, and attended meetings with major record labels. After performing original songs at an RCA Records showcase, Swift was given an artist development deal and began making frequent trips to Nashville with her mother. To help Swift break into country music, her father transferred to Merrill Lynch's Nashville office when she was 14, and the family relocated to a lakefront house in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Swift attended Hendersonville High School but after 2 years transferred to the Aaron Academy, which through homeschooling could accommodate her touring schedule. She graduated a year early. 2004 to 2008, Career Beginnings and Taylor Swift. In Nashville, Swift worked with experienced music row songwriters such as Troy Verges, Brett Beavers, Brett James, Mac McAnally, and the Warren Brothers, and formed a lasting working relationship with Liz Rose. They began meeting for 2-hour writing sessions every Tuesday afternoon after school. Rose thought the sessions were some of the easiest I've ever done. Basically, I was just her editor. She'd write about what happened in school that day. She had such a clear vision of what she was trying to say. And she'd come in with the most incredible hooks. Swift was signed by the Sony ATV Tree publishing house but left RCA Records when she was 14. She later said, I genuinely felt that I was running out of time. I wanted to capture these years of my life on an album while they still represented what I was going through. At an industry showcase at Nashville's Bluebird Cafe in 2005, Swift caught the attention of Scott Borchetta, a DreamWorks Records executive who was preparing to form an independent record label, Big Machine Records. She had first met Borchetta in 2004. Swift became one of Big Machine's first signings, and her father purchased a 3% stake in the company for an estimated $120,000. She began working on her eponymous debut album shortly after. Swift persuaded Big Machine to hire her demo producer Nathan Chapman, with whom she felt she had the right chemistry. She wrote 3 of the album's songs alone, and co-wrote the remaining 8 with Rose, Robert Telisoral, Brian Marr, and Angelo Batraglia. Taylor Swift was released on October 24, 2006. John Caramanica of the New York Times described it as a small masterpiece of pop-minded country, both wide-eyed and cynical, held together by Miss Swift's firm, pleading voice. Taylor Swift peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 albums chart in the United States, spending 157 weeks there, the longest stay on the chart by any release in the U.S. that decade. As of August 2016, the album had sold over 7.75 million copies worldwide. Big Machine Records was still in its infancy during the June 2006 release of the lead single, Tim McGraw. Swift and her mother helped stuff the CD singles into envelopes to send to radio. She spent much of 2006 promoting Taylor Swift with a radio tour, television appearances, and opening for Rascal Flatts on select dates during their 2006 tour after they fired their previous opening act, Eric Church, for playing longer than his allotted time. Church jokingly told Swift she should give him her first gold record as thanks for getting fired. She sent him her first gold record with a note that said, "Thanks for playing too long and too loud on the Flatts tour. I sincerely appreciate it. Taylor." Borchetta said that record industry peers disapproved of his signing a 16-year-old singer-songwriter, but that Swift tapped into a previously unknown market, teenage girls who listen to country music. Following Tim McGraw, 4 more singles were released throughout 2007 and 2008, Teardrops on My Guitar, Our Song, Picture to Burn and Should Have Said No. All were successful on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart in the United States, with Our Song, and Should Have Said No reaching number 1. With Our Song, Swift became the youngest person to single-handedly write and perform a number 1 song on the chart. Teardrops on My Guitar reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 Songs chart in the United States. Swift also released the holiday album Sounds of the Season, the Taylor Swift Holiday Collection in October 2007 and the EP Beautiful Eyes in July 2008. She promoted her debut album extensively as the opening act for other artists on their tours. Swift won accolades for Taylor Swift. She was one of the recipients of the Nashville Songwriters Association's Songwriter, Artist of the Year in 2007, becoming the youngest person to be honored with the title. She also won the Country Music Association's Horizon Award for Best New Artist, the Academy of Country Music Awards Top New Female Vocalist, and the American Music Awards Favorite Country Female Artist honor. She was also nominated for Best New Artist at the 2008 Grammy Awards. She opened for the Rascal Flatts on their 2008 summer and fall tour. In July of that year, Swift began a romance with singer Joe Jonas that ended 3 months later. 2008 to 2010, Fearless and Acting. Swift's second studio album, Fearless, was released on November 11, 2008. The lead single, Love Story, was released in September 2008. It peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 in Australia. 4 more singles were released throughout 2008 and 2009, White Horse, You Belong With Me, 15 and Fearless. You Belong With Me was the album's highest charting single on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 2. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and was the top-selling album of 2009 in the United States. Swift's first concert tour, the Fearless Tour, promoted the album. It grossed over $63 million. Taylor Swift, Journey to Fearless, a concert film, was aired on television and later released on DVD and Blu-ray. Swift also performed as a supporting act for Keith Urban's Escape Together World Tour. In 2009, the music video for You Belong With Me was named Best Female Video at the MTV Video Music Awards. Her acceptance speech was interrupted by rapper Kanye West. The incident was the subject of controversy and widespread media attention, resulting in many internet memes. James Montgomery of MTV argued the incident and subsequent media attention turned Swift into a bona fide mainstream celebrity. That year she won 5 American Music Awards, including Artist of the Year and Favorite Country Album. Billboard named her 2009's Artist of the Year. The album ranked number 99 on NPR's 2017 list of the 150 greatest albums made by women. At the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards, Fearless was named Album of the Year and Best Country Album, and White Horse was named Best Country Song and Best Female Country Vocal Performance. Swift was the youngest artist to win Album of the Year. During the ceremony, Swift sang You Belong With Me and Rhiannon with Stevie Nicks. Her performance received negative reviews and caused a media backlash. John Caramanica of the New York Times found it refreshing to see someone so gifted make the occasional flub and described Swift as the most important new pop star of the past few years. Swift became the youngest artist to be named Entertainer of the Year by the Country Music Association. Fearless also won the association's Album of the Year award. Swift contributed backing vocals to John Mayer's Half of My Heart, a single featured on his 4th album, Battle Studies, 2009. She co-wrote and recorded Best Days of Your Life with Kelly Pickler, and co-wrote 2 songs for the Hannah Montana, the movie soundtrack, You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home and Crazier. Swift also provided vocals for Boys Like Girls 2 Is Better Than 1. She contributed 2 songs to the Valentine's Day soundtrack, including the country pop song Today Was a Fairy Tale, which became her first number 1 on the Canadian Hot 100 chart and her second number 2 peaking song in the US. While filming her cinematic debut Valentine's Day in October 2009, Swift began a romantic relationship with co-star Taylor Lautner. They broke up later that year. The romantic comedy, released the following year, saw her play the ditzy girlfriend of a high school jock, a role which the Los Angeles Times felt showed Swift had serious comedic potential. In a scathing review, a critic for Variety deemed her entirely undirected, arguing she needs to find a skilled director to tamp her down and channel her obviously abundant energy. Swift made her TV acting debut in a 2009 episode of CBS's CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, playing a rebellious teenager. The New York Times noted the character allowed Swift to be a little bit naughty, and credibly so. Later that year, Swift both hosted and performed as the musical guest on an episode of Saturday Night Live. Entertainment Weekly described her as this season's best Saturday Night Live host so far, noting she was always up for the challenge, seemed to be having fun, and helped the rest of the cast nail the punchlines. 2010 to 2014, Speak Now and Red. In August 2010, Swift released Mine, the lead single from her third studio album, Speak Now. It entered the US charts at number 3, making Swift the second female artist in the history of the Hot 100, after Mariah Carey, to debut multiple tracks in the top 5 in 1 year. The other was Today Was a Fairy Tale at number 2. Swift wrote the album alone and co-produced every track. Speak Now, released on October 25, 2010, was a commercial success, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200, and becoming the 16th album to achieve opening week sales of 1 million copies. It became the fastest-selling digital album by a female artist, with 278,000 downloads in a week, earning Swift an entry in the 2010 Guinness World Records. She earned a second entry after she became the first woman to achieve 10-track debuts on the Billboard Hot 100. 3 of the album's singles, Mine, Back to December, and Mean, peaked in the top 10 in Canada, while in the US, the earlier 2 along with the title track peaked in the top 10 of the Hot 100 chart. Later in 2010, she briefly dated actor Jake Gyllenhaal. Mean won Best Country Song and Best Country Solo Performance at the 54th Annual Grammy Awards. Swift performed it during the ceremony. Claire Sudduth of Time felt she delivered her comeback on key and with a vengeance. Jamie Dearwister of USA Today wrote that the criticism in 2010 seemed to have made her a better songwriter and live performer. Swift won other awards for Speak Now, including Songwriter, Artist of the Year by the Nashville Songwriters Association, 2010 and 2011, Woman of the Year by Billboard, 2011, and Entertainer of the Year by the Academy of Country Music, 2011 and 2012, and the Country Music Association in 2011. At the American Music Awards of 2011, Swift won Artist of the Year and Favorite Country Album. Rolling Stone placed Speak Now at number 45 in its 2012 list of the 50 best female albums of all time, writing, "She might get played on the country station, but she's one of the few genuine rock stars we've got these days, with a flawless ear for what makes a song click." The Speak Now World Tour ran from February 2011 to March 2012 and grossed over $123 million. In November 2011, Swift released her first live album, Speak Now World Tour, Live. The following month, she contributed 2 original songs to the Hunger Games soundtrack album, Safe and Sound, co-written and recorded with the Civil Wars and T-Bone Burnett, and Eyes Open. Safe and Sound won the Grammy Award for Best Song Written for Visual Media. Swift contributed vocals to rapper B.O.B.'s Both of Us, released in May 2012. From July to September 2012, Swift dated political heir Connor Kennedy. In August, Swift released We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, the lead single from her 4th studio album, Red. It became her first number 1 in the US and New Zealand and reached the top slot on iTunes Digital Song Sales chart 50 minutes after its release, earning the fastest-selling single in digital history Guinness World Record. Swift released the album's second single, Begin Again, in October. It reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. Other singles released from the album include I Knew You Were Trouble, 22, Everything Has Changed, The Last Time, and Red. I Knew You Were Trouble was a major commercial success, peaking at number 2 in the United States. Red was released on October 22, 2012, incorporating new genres for Swift, such as heartland rock, dubstep and dance pop. The album was a critical and commercial success, and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with first-week sales of 1.21 million copies. This marked the highest opening sales in a decade in the United States, and made Swift the first female to have 2 million selling album openings, a record recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records. The Red Tour ran from March 2013 to June 2014 and grossed over $150 million. The tour broke the ticket sales record in China with all 18,000 tickets sold in 60 seconds. Red earned several accolades, including 4 nominations at the 56th Annual Grammy Awards. Its single "I Knew You Were Trouble" won Best Female Video at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards. Swift was named Best Female Country Artist at the 2012 American Music Awards and Artist of the Year at the 2013 ceremony. She received the Nashville Songwriters Association's Songwriter Artist Award for the 5th and 6th consecutive years in 2012 and 2013. Swift was also honored by the association with a special Pinnacle Award, making her the second recipient of the accolade after Garth Brooks. During this time, she had a short-term relationship with British singer Harry Styles. In 2013, Swift co-wrote and co-produced Sweeter Than Fiction with Jack Antonoff for the One Chance soundtrack, and received a Best Original Song nomination at the 71st Golden Globe Awards. She provided guest vocals for Tim McGraw's song Highway Don't Care, featuring guitar work by Keith Urban. Swift performed as Tears Go By with the Rolling Stones in Chicago, Illinois as part of their 50 and Counting tour, and said that the band was a major influence on her career outlook. She also joined Florida Georgia Line on stage during their set at the 2013 Country Radio Seminar to sing Cruise. Swift voiced Audrey, a tree lover, in the animated film The Lorax, 2012, made a cameo in the sitcom New Girl, 2013, and had a supporting role in the film adaptation of The Giver, 2014. 2014 to 2017, 1989. In March 2014, Swift relocated to New York City. Around this time, she was working on her 5th studio album, 1989, with co-writers Antonoff, Max Martin, Shellback, Imogen Heap, Ryan Tedder, and Ali Pyami. She promoted the album through various campaigns, including inviting fans to secret album listening sessions. Credited as her first documented, official pop album, it marked a departure from her country albums. The album was released on October 27, 2014, to positive reviews. 1989 sold 1.28 million copies in the US during the first week of its release and debuted atop the Billboard 200. This made Swift the first act to have 3 albums sell more than 1 million copies in their opening release week, for which she earned another Guinness World Record. As of June 2017, 1989 had sold over 10 million copies worldwide. The lead single, Shake It Off, was released in August 2014 and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The album generated 2 additional number 1 singles, Blank Space and Bad Blood, featuring Kendrick Lamar, as well as the top 10 entries Style and Wildest Dreams, and other singles Out of the Woods and New Romantics. Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Bad Blood also topped the charts in Australia and Canada. After Blank Space reached number 1 in the US following Shake It Off, Swift became the first woman in the Hot 100's history to succeed herself at the top spot. The music video for Blank Space was briefly the fastest video to reach 1 billion views on Vivo. The videos for Blank Space and Bad Blood earned 4 nominations at the 2015 MTV Video Music Awards. Bad Blood won Video of the Year and Best Collaboration. Swift's headlining tour, the 1989 World Tour, running from May to December 2015, grossed over $250 million, and was highest-grossing tour of the year. Swift was named Billboard's Woman of the Year in 2014, the first artist to win the award twice. That year she also received the Dick Clark Award for Excellence at the American Music Awards. In 2015, Shake It Off was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, Including Record of the Year and Song of the Year, Swift won the Brit Award for International Female Solo Artist. Swift was one of 8 artists to receive a 50th Anniversary Milestone Award at the 2015 Academy of Country Music Awards. In 2016, she won 3 Grammy Awards for 1989, Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album, and Best Music Video for Bad Blood. She became the first woman, and the 5th act, to win the first of these twice. Prior to 1989's release, Swift stressed the importance of albums to artists and fans. In November 2014, she removed her entire catalog from the streaming service Spotify, arguing that its ad-supported free service undermined the premium service, which provides higher royalties for songwriters. In a June 2015 open letter, Swift criticized Apple Music for not offering royalties to artists during their free 3-month trial period and said she would pull 1989 from the catalog. The following day, Apple announced it would pay artists during the free trial period, and Swift agreed to stream 1989 on their streaming service. Swift's intellectual property rights management and holding company, Taz Rights Management, filed for 73 trademarks related to Swift and the 1989 era memes. She re-released her entire catalog plus 1989 to Spotify, Amazon Music and Google Play and other digital streaming platforms in June 2017. In 2015, Swift performed I Saw Her Standing There and Shake It Off with Paul McCartney at the Saturday Night Live 40th Anniversary Special After Party. She joined Kenny Chesney to sing Big Star on the opening night of his big revival tour in Nashville. In March 2015, Swift started dating Scottish DJ and record producer Calvin Harris. By June 2015, the duo were ranked as the highest paid celebrity couple over the past year by Forbes with combined earnings of over $146 million. Before Swift and Harris announced the end of their relationship in June 2016, they co-wrote his song This Is What You Came For, featuring Rihanna, for which she was initially credited under the pseudonym Nils Sjoberg. The same month Swift began dating English actor Tom Hiddleston. The relationship ended several months later. In August, Swift addressed her mother's cancer diagnosis and encouraged others to get a medical checkup. In September 2016, Swift began dating British actor Joe Alwyn. In October, Little Big Town released Better Man, written solely by Swift, for their 7th album, The Breaker. She had emailed them the song and offered it to them, having their vocal harmonies in mind. The song earned Swift an award for Song of the Year at the 51st EMA Awards. 2 months later, Swift and British singer Zayn Malik released a single together called I Don't Wanna Live Forever, for the soundtrack of the film 50 Shades Darker, 2017. The song reached number 1 in Sweden and peaked at number 2 in the United States. At the 2017 MTV Video Music Awards, the duo won the award for Best Collaboration for the song's music video. 2017 to 2019, Reputation. In August 2017, Swift successfully sued David Mueller, a former morning show personality for Denver's KYGO-FM. 4 years earlier, Swift had informed Mueller's bosses that he had sexually assaulted her by groping her at an event. After being fired, Mueller accused Swift of lying and sued her for damages from his loss of employment. Shortly after, Swift countersued for sexual assault. The jury rejected Mueller's claims and ruled in favor of Swift. Swift thereafter cleared her social media accounts and then released Look What You Made Me Do as the lead single from her 6th album, Reputation. The song topped the charts in Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Its music video had over 43.2 million views during its first day on YouTube, breaking the site's record for the most viewed music video in 24 hours. In October, Swift released the album's 2nd single Ready For It, which charted at number 3 in Australia and at number 4 in the United States. 2 promotional singles were released from Reputation, Gorgeous and Call It What You Want. Gorgeous later became the album's 5th single, but only in Europe. The album was released on November 10. It sold 1.216 million copies in the United States, becoming 2017's the country's top-selling album, pure sales only. First week worldwide sales amounted to 2 million copies. With this achievement, she became the first act to have 4 albums sell 1 million copies within 1 week in the US. The album topped the charts in several countries, including the US, the UK, Australia, and Canada. Later that month, Swift performed Ready for It? And Call It What You Want on Saturday Night Live. Endgame, featuring Ed Sheeran and rapper Future, followed in November as the third single. It peaked at number 18 in the US. Other singles from the album include New Year's Day, released exclusively to country radio, and Delicate. In April 2018, Swift featured on Sugarland's Babe from their album Bigger. In support of Reputation, Swift embarked on her Reputation Stadium tour from May to November 2018. The tour broke multiple venue attendance and gross earnings records in the United States, taking in $266.1 million, selling more than 2 million tickets. Swift broke her own record for the highest grossing domestic tour by a woman and surpassed the Rolling Stones' $245 million grossing A Bigger Bang Tour, 2005 to 2007. Worldwide, the tour grossed $345.7 million, making it the second highest grossing concert tour of the year. At the American Music Awards of 2018, Swift won Tour of the Year Award, Artist of the Year, Favorite Pop, Rock Female Artist, and Favorite Pop, Rock Album for Reputation. With a total of 23 awards, she became the most awarded female winner in AMA history, a record previously held by Whitney Houston. Reputation was nominated for a Grammy Award in the Best Pop Vocal Album category. Reputation was Swift's last album under her 12-year contract with Big Machine Records. In November 2018, Swift signed a new multi-album deal with Big Machine's distributor Universal Music Group. In the United States, her future releases will be promoted under the Republic Records imprint. Swift said the contract included a provision for her to maintain ownership of her master recordings. In addition, in the event that Universal sells any part of its stake in Spotify, Spotify agreed to distribute a non-recoupable portion of the proceeds among their artists. In late November, Big Machine Records released a Reputation Stadium Tour playlist for streaming services. The playlist includes every song performed on B stages during the Reputation Stadium Tour. On December 31st, Reputation Stadium Tour, a concert film, was released on Netflix. 2019, Lover and Taylor Swift, Miss Americana. Swift released Me, featuring Brendan Urie of Panic! At the Disco on April 26, 2019, as the lead single from her 7th studio album, Lover. The song debuted at number 100 on the Billboard Hot 100 3 days after its release, and jumped to number 2 the following week, the biggest single-week jump in the Hot 100's history. The music video for Me broke a Viva record by amassing 65.2 million views within its first day of release. On June 14, she released the second single You Need to Calm Down, which debuted and peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, and gave a surprise performance at the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village, Manhattan, to commemorate Stonewall 50, World Pride NYC 2019. On July 23, she released a promotional single from the album, The Archer. The title track was released as the third single on August 16, which became the third consecutive Hot 100 Top 10 single from the album. Lover was released on August 23 to positive reviews, and debuted atop the Billboard 200 with a first-week tally of 867,000 units, including 679,000 copies sold, making Swift the first female artist in history to have 6 albums sell more than 500,000 copies in a single week. Upon the album's release, all of its 18 songs entered the Billboard Hot 100, setting the record for the most simultaneous chart entries for a female artist. It also sold more copies than all the other 199 albums on the chart combined that week. At the 2019 MTV Video Music Awards, the videos for Me and You Need to Calm Down received 12 nominations. Me won Best Visual Effects, and You Need to Calm Down won Video of the Year and Video for Good. Swift was cast as Bumblearina in the movie adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical Cats, which will be released on December 20, 2019. Swift and Lloyd Webber wrote the original song Beautiful Ghosts for the film, which was released on November 15. On December 6, she released a Christmas single, Christmas Tree Farm. In June, Big Machine, Swift's former record label, was purchased by music manager Scooter Braun, including the masters for her first 6 albums. Swift voiced her displeasure in a Tumblr post, saying she had been trying to buy the masters for years and describing Braun as an incessant, manipulative bully. In August, Swift announced plans to re-record the albums in November 2020. In November 2019, Swift said that Braun and Big Machine founder Scott Borchetta blocked her from performing her older songs at the 2019 American Music Awards, where she was to receive the Artist of the Decade award, as well as using older material for the Netflix documentary Taylor Swift, Miss Americana. Big Machine denied the allegations in general terms in a statement, and accused Swift of owing millions of dollars and multiple assets to the label. In response, Swift's representatives released correspondence showing a Big Machine executive refusing to grant licenses for the documentary, and stated Big Machine owes Swift nearly $8 million in unpaid royalties. On November 18, Big Machine issued a statement that it had agreed to grant all licenses of their artists' performances to stream post-show and for rebroadcast on mutually approved platforms for the American Music Awards, though it did not mention Swift by name. Artistry. Influences. One of Swift's earliest musical memories is listening to her maternal grandmother, Marjorie Finley, sing in church. As a child, she enjoyed Disney film soundtracks. My parents noticed that, once I had run out of words, I would just make up my own. Swift has said she owes her confidence to her mother, who helped her prepare for class presentations as a child. She also attributes her fascination with writing and storytelling to her mother. Swift was drawn to the storytelling aspect of country music, and was introduced to the genre listening to the great female country artists of the 90s Shania Twain, Faith Hill, and the Dixie Chicks. Twain, both as a songwriter and performer, was her biggest musical influence. Hill was Swift's childhood role model. Everything she said, did, wore, I tried to copy it. She admired the Dixie Chicks' defiant attitude and their ability to play their own instruments. The band's Cowboy Take Me Away was the first song Swift learned to play on the guitar. Swift also explored the music of older country stars, including Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, and Tammy Wynette. She believes Parton is an amazing example to every female songwriter out there. Alt country artists like Ryan Adams, Patty Griffin and Lori McKenna have also inspired Swift. Swift lists Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, Emmylou Harris, Kris Kristofferson, and Carly Simon as her career role models. They've taken chances, but they've also been the same artist for their entire careers. McCartney, both as a Beatle and a solo artist, makes Swift feel as if I've been let into his heart and his mind. He's out there continuing to make his fans so happy. Any musician could only dream of a legacy like that. She admires Springsteen for being so musically relevant after such a long period of time. She aspires to be like Harris as she grows older. It's not about fame for her, it's about music. Kristofferson shines in songwriting. He's just one of those people who has been in this business for years, but you can tell it hasn't chewed him up and spat him out, Swift says. She admires Simon's songwriting and honesty. She's known as an emotional person but a strong person. Swift has been influenced by other non-country artists. As a preteen, she enjoyed bubblegum pop acts including Hanson and Britney Spears, for whom Swift has said she has an unwavering devotion. In her high school years, Swift listened to rock bands like Dashboard Confessional, Fall Out Boy, and Jimmy Eat World. She has also spoken fondly of singers and songwriters like Michelle Branch, Alanis Morissette, Fefe Dobson, Colby Goulet, Beyoncé, Justin Timberlake, Pete Wentz, Lana Del Rey, and Halsey, as well as the 1960s acts The Shirelles, Doris Troy, and the Beach Boys. Swift's fifth album, the pop-focused 1989, was influenced by some of her favorite 1980s pop acts, including Peter Gabriel, Annie Lennox, Phil Collins and Like a Prayer era Madonna. Discussing Madonna, Swift said, "One element of Madonna's career that really takes center stage is how many times she's reinvented herself. It's easier to stay in one look, one comfort zone, one musical style. It's inspiring to see someone whose only predictable quality is being unpredictable." Musical style. Swift's music contains elements of pop, synth pop, country, country pop, and rock. She described herself as a country artist until the 2014 release of 1989, which she characterized as a sonically cohesive pop album. Rolling Stone wrote, "Swift might get played on the country station, but she's one of the few genuine rock stars we've got these days." According to the New York Times, there isn't much in Miss Swift's music to indicate country: a few banjo strums, a pair of cowboy boots worn on stage, a bedazzled guitar, but there's something in her winsome, vulnerable delivery that's unique to Nashville. The Guardian wrote that Swift cranks melodies out with the pitiless efficiency of a Scandinavian pop factory. Swift's vocals were described by Sophie Schillaci of The Hollywood Reporter as sweet, but soft. The Los Angeles Times identified Swift's defining vocal gesture in studio recordings as the line that slides down like a contented sigh or up like a raised eyebrow, giving her beloved girl time hits their air of easy intimacy. Rolling Stone, in a Speak Now review, wrote, "Swift's voice is unaffected enough to mask how masterful she has become as a singer. She lowers her voice for the payoff lines in the classic mode of a shy girl trying to talk tough." In another review of Speak Now, The Village Voice wrote that her phrasing was previously bland and muddled, but that's changed. She can still sound strained and thin, and often strays into a pitch that drives some people crazy, but she's learned how to make words sound like what they mean. NPR Music described her singing as personal and conversational thanks to her exceptional gift for inflection, but also suffers from a wobbly pitch and tight, nasal delivery. The Hollywood Reporter wrote that her live vocals are fine, but they do not match those of her peers. In 2009, Ken Tucker of Entertainment Weekly described Swift's vocals as flat, thin, and sometimes as wobbly as a newborn colt. However, Swift has been praised for refusing to correct her pitch with auto-tune. In an interview with The New Yorker, Swift characterized herself primarily as a songwriter. "I write songs, and my voice is just a way to get those lyrics across." A writer for The Tennessean conceded in 2010 that Swift is not the best technical singer, but described her as the best communicator that we've got. Swift's vocal presence is something that concerns her and she has put a lot of work into improving it. It was reported in 2010 that she continues to take vocal lessons. She has said that she only feels nervous performing if I'm not sure what the audience thinks of me, like at award shows. Songwriting. Swift uses her life experiences as an inspiration in her work. She often addresses the anonymous crushes of her high school years and celebrities in her early songs. Swift frequently criticizes ex-boyfriends, an aspect of her songwriting downplayed by The Village Voice. Being told what songs mean is like having a really pushy professor. And it imperils a true appreciation of Swift's talent, which is not confessional, but dramatic. However, New York believes the media scrutiny over her decision to mine her personal life for music is sexist, inasmuch as it's not asked of her male peers. Swift said that not all of her songs are factual and they are sometimes based on observations. Aside from clues provided in her liner notes, Swift tries not to talk about song subjects specifically because these are real people. You try to give insight as to where you were coming from as a writer without completely throwing somebody under the bus. For a female to write about her feelings, and then be portrayed as some clingy, insane, desperate girlfriend in need of making you marry her and have kids with her, I think that's taking something that potentially should be celebrated, a woman writing about her feelings in a confessional way, that's taking it and turning it and twisting it into something that is frankly a little sexist. The Guardian has praised Swift for writing about teenage years with a kind of wistful, sepia-tone nostalgia over the course of her first two albums. New York has remarked that many singer-songwriters have made great records as teens, but none made great records so explicitly about their teens. The magazine has also compared her work to Brian Wilson. In Fearless, Swift featured fairy tale imagery and explored the disconnect between fairy tales and the reality of love. Her later albums address more adult relationships. In addition to romance and love, Swift's songs have discussed parent-child relationships, friendships, alienation, fame, and career ambitions. Swift frequently includes a tossed-off phrase to suggest large and serious things that won't fit in the song, things that enhance or subvert the surface narrative. Rolling Stone describes Swift as a songwriting savant with an intuitive gift for verse-chorus-bridge architecture. According to The Village Voice, she often uses third-verse point-of-view reversals. In terms of imagery, repetition is evident in Swift's songwriting. In The Guardian's words, she spends so much time kissing in the rain that it seems a miracle she hasn't developed trench foot. Slant magazine adds, to Swift's credit, she explores new lyrical motifs over the course of her fourth album. Although reviews of Swift's work are almost uniformly positive, The New Yorker has said she is generally portrayed more as a skilled technician than as a Dylan-esque visionary. Music videos. Swift has collaborated with many different directors to produce her music videos, and over time she has become more involved with writing and directing. She has her own production house, Taylor Swift Productions Incorporated, which is credited with producing the music video for Me. In 2010, Swift co-directed the music video for Mine with Roman White. In 2011, she continued to collaborate with White on the music videos for Mean and Ours. Swift developed the concept and treatment for Mean. In an interview, White elaborated that Swift was keenly involved in writing the treatment, casting and wardrobe. And she stayed for both the 15-hour shooting days, even when she wasn't in the scenes. Swift wrote the concept for the Hours music video and then brought in White to direct, describing her vision of both videos as being storylines. From 2014 to 2018, Swift collaborated with director Joseph Kahn on 8 music videos, 4 each from her albums 1989 and Reputation. Kahn has praised Swift's involvement in the craft. In 2016, Swift worked with American Express for her Blank Space music video, which Kahn directed, and released the interactive app Amex Unstaged, Taylor Swift Experience. Swift received starring and executive producer credit, and in 2015 won a Primetime Emmy Award in the Outstanding Interactive Program category for the app. In 2018, Swift developed the concept and then wrote the treatment for the music video for the Sugarland song Babe. She co-starred in the video with the 2 members of Sugarland, Jennifer Nettles and Christian Busch, directed by Anthony Mandler. Nettles described it as cinematic and a period piece, while Busch referenced its Mad Men influences. Nettles also said, "I have a feeling we'll see her directing at some point soon, because she was really good at it." In 2019, Swift co-directed the music videos for Me with Dave Meyers and You Need to Calm Down with Drew Kirsch. She also co-executive produced the latter with Todrick Hall. In August 2019, she revealed in an interview that she wrote the treatments for the 2 music videos as well. Swift also co-directed her 2019 Lover music video with Kirsch. At the 2019 VMAs she won Video of the Year for You Need to Calm Down, becoming the second artist and the first female artist to win the award for a video that they co-directed. Public image. Swift's personal life is the subject of constant media attention. In 2013, Abercrombie & Fitch marketed a slogan t-shirt with a slut-shaming remark directed toward her. The New York Times asserted in 2013 that her dating history has begun to stir what feels like the beginning of a backlash. They questioned whether Swift was in the midst of a quarter-life crisis. Swift has said she is unwilling to discuss her personal life in public. She believes that talking about it can be a career weakness. In 2015, singer Ray Stevens released his album Here We Go Again, which included the single Taylor Swift Is Stalking Me. Rolling Stone remarks upon her polite manner, "If this is Swift's game face, it must be tattooed on because it never drops." The magazine also takes note of her ease with glad handing, and The Hollywood Reporter has credited her as the best people person since Bill Clinton. While presenting Swift with an award for her humanitarian endeavors in 2012, Michelle Obama described her as a singer who has rocketed to the top of the music industry but still keeps her feet on the ground, someone who has shattered every expectation of what a 22-year-old can accomplish. Swift considers Michelle Obama to be a role model. Swift is one of the most followed people on social media, and is known for her friendly interactions with her fans. She has delivered holiday gifts to fans by mail and in person, dubbed Swiftmas. She considers it her responsibility to be conscious of her influence on young fans, and has said they are the longest and best relationship I have ever had. Often described by the media as America's sweetheart, Swift insists she does not live by all these rigid, weird rules that make me feel all fenced in. I just like the way that I feel like, and that makes me feel very free. She refuses to take part in overly sexualized photo shoots, although Bloomberg LP views her as a sex symbol. Vogue named Swift an icon of American style in 2011. In 2014 she topped People's annual Best Dressed list. In 2015, she was named Woman of the Year at the Elle Style Awards, and ranked first on Maxim's Hot 100 list. Other ventures. Philanthropy. Swift's philanthropic efforts have been recognized by the Do Something Awards and the Tennessee Disaster Services. She has also received the Big Help Award for her dedication to helping others and inspiring others through action, and the Ripple of Hope Award for her dedication to advocacy at such a young age. As she presented the award to Swift, RFK Center President Kerry Kennedy said, "Taylor is just the kind of woman we want our daughters to be, authentic and mighty. Willing to take a risk and strong enough to walk away." In 2008, she donated $100,000 to the Red Cross to help the victims of the flood in Iowa that year. Swift has performed at charity relief events including Sydney's Sound Relief Concert. She also recorded a song for the Hope for Haiti Now album. In response to the May 2010 Tennessee floods, Swift donated $500,000 during a telethon hosted by WSMV. In 2011, Swift used a dress rehearsal of her Speak Now tour as a benefit concert for victims of recent tornadoes in the United States, raising more than $750,000. In 2012, Swift supported Architecture for Humanity's Restore the Shore TV telethon in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. In 2016, she made a $1 million donation to Louisiana flood relief efforts and donated to the Dolly Parton Fire Fund. In 2017, Swift made a donation to the Houston Food Bank after Hurricane Harvey struck the city. Swift is a supporter of the arts and donated $75,000 to Nashville's Hendersonville High School in 2010 to help refurbish the school auditorium. In 2012, she pledged $4 million to fund the building of a new education center at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Nashville. Also, in 2012 Swift partnered with textbook rental company Chegg to donate $60,000 to the music departments of 6 U.S. colleges. Swift also promotes children's literacy. In 2009, she donated $250,000 to various schools around the country to improve education. Her other endeavors to promote literacy included donating 6,000 scholastic books to the Reading Public Library in Pennsylvania, 14,000 books to the Nashville Public Library in Tennessee, 2,000 scholastic books to the Reading Hospital Child Health Center's Early Literacy Program, and 25,000 books to New York City schools in 2015. The same year, Swift donated all proceeds from the sale of the promotional single Welcome to New York, at the time $50,000, to the New York City Department of Education. In 2019, Swift sampled a song by the Toronto-based Regent Park School of Music in her album Lover, thus enabling the school to earn royalties from her album. She also made a personal donation. In 2007, she launched a campaign to protect children from online predators, in partnership with the Tennessee Association of Chiefs of Police. In 2009, Swift recorded a Sound Matters public service announcement, PSA, to make listeners aware of the importance of listening responsibly to prevent hearing impairment. Swift has donated items to several charities for auction, including the Elton John AIDS Foundation, the UNICEF TAP Project, MusiCares, and Feeding America. As a recipient of the Academy of Country Music's Entertainer of the Year in 2011, Swift donated $25,000 to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, Tennessee. In 2012, Swift participated in the Stand Up to Cancer telethon, performing Ronan, a song she wrote in memory of a 4-year-old boy who died of neuroblastoma. The song was made available for digital download with all proceeds donated to cancer-related charities. In 2014, she donated $100,000 to the V Foundation for Cancer Research, and $50,000 to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. She has made private visits to hospitals to meet with sick patients and support them. Swift has encouraged young people to volunteer in their local communities as part of Global Youth Service Day. In 2018, Swift collaborated with 300 women in Hollywood to set up the Time's Up initiative to protect women from harassment and discrimination, and donated $100,000 to its legal defense fund. In March 2018, she donated to March for Our Lives. In April 2018, Swift donated to the Rape, Abuse and Incest National Network in support of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. On May 7, 2018, the day before her Reputation Stadium tour kicked off, Swift invited 2,000 foster and adopted children to a dress rehearsal at Glendale, Arizona. Later that year, Swift made a surprise appearance at a benefit concert in New York City raising money for LGBT equality. In April 2019, Swift donated $113,000 to the LGBT organization Tennessee Equality Project. Swift donated an undie,